Welcome people to this video, and here I'm gonna show you how to solve a problem with Flatpak applications starting up very slowly in Pop! OS 22.04. Let's jump right in. As usual, if something in this video is not clear to you, or if you're curious to learn about things that I mentioned in this video, just leave a comment and then I'll be more than glad to help you. So this video is going to be directed towards users who have an HD and SSD in their machines, and who also have installed only the home directory in their HDs, and then the root directory in the SSD. For some reason, if you are still using, or if you have installed the whole system in your HD, most likely you haven't noticed that the Flatpak applications start slower than, let's say, snap applications in Pop! OS. But if you're using that configuration that I have mentioned, most likely you have noticed so far. And why does it necessarily happen? And according to at least in my experience, only in Pop! OS? Well, basically, by default, Pop! OS comes with Flatpak applications, but different than in other distros, they are installed by default, not in the root directory, but in home directory. Thus, if you're using that configuration that I mentioned previously, you're basically starting the application, or you're installing the applications in the HDs. So that's why it starts slower than other kind of applications. So in this video right here, I'm gonna teach you I'm gonna show you two methods on how to transport or to move that Flatpak directory to the root directory. Now, for both methods, I'm gonna be using a fresh install, and I recommended you to do so as well, because especially for the second method, it only works after a fresh install. The first method, if you know how to move your home directory to root directory after the system is already installed, then feel free to do so, but still, I just prefer doing it after fresh install. So the first option involves, as I have previously mentioned, installing everything in the SSD. I'm assuming that you know how to do so because you installed to face this problem. You have installed, first of all, things separately in the HD. So I'm just assuming that you already know how to do so. So after install everything in your SSD, the first thing you have to do is to access the mouse directory in your root partition, which is right here. I'm just gonna do it because I like to say, just for the sake of the organization here, sorting out folders in a more neat way. So I'm gonna open it in terminal right here, just to be less complicated. And I'm gonna do a sudo because we are dealing with the root directory or the root partition. And then I'm gonna use this command to create a directory called hd. I'm gonna insert my password and press enter. And as you can see here, I have created a folder called hd to represent the things that we want to, or the place where we want to paste our home directories specifically. Now you have to open disks, and I'm running a virtual machine here, but if you have that configuration that I have mentioned, in other words, the SSD and the HD, you're probably gonna see your HD list here in the left menu. And what you have to do basically is to click on it and then choose the edit mount options. I don't have this machine, but I'm gonna leave a screenshot of how it's supposed to be. And the only thing that you have to do there is to select the mount point to just leave everything on default, but the mount point should be the HD directory you have created in the mouth directory. So after you added the HD directory in this way right here, and also you have set up your HD using this, now it's time to replicate these directories right here that we have in our home directory, but in this case inside this directory right here. Well, I don't like, for instance, to replicate desktop because this is something that I bring from installing multiple distros in the same computer, and I use like sharing, like a home sharing system, let's call it like that. And if you do it with the desktop directory, sometimes it messes really like really complicated way. So I just like to leave it untouched. But I'm gonna do with basically the documents, the downloads, and also let me show you right here the templates and the public directories. For that, I have to be in the directory I have created and open it in terminal just to be more simplified. Don't want to make it more complicated for some of you who don't know Linux so well. So here I'm going to use the same command right there to create a directory. In this case, I'm going to add the documents directory to here. So I have to insert my password, and then I have created this directory right here. So I'm gonna add the remaining directories and so that it may be more easily accessible to you. I'm gonna leave all the comments in the description of the video. So after you replicated all the home directories or inside the HD directory, you have to go to your home directory and actually delete all of these standard directories by simply selecting them and pressing delete. For the next step, we have to create a soft link for each folder we have created here, or each directory we have created here in the HD directory. For that, we have to open the home terminal and insert the following command for each folder we want to add directory, a soft link. So for this, you have to insert the following command, and please note that this is case sensitive. So I'm gonna do it for each one of the folders right here, or the directories. And as usual, I'm gonna leave all the commands in the description below. So at the end, your home directory will look like this. And basically you're finished. You don't have to do anything else. So let me show you why it works when it comes to it, because you're just telling to the system that you want to access the video folder or somewhere that is like installed, or it refers to your actual HD or where it is mounted. And as you may see here, the Flatpak is actually installed in your SSD. So the only thing that may happen is that especially when it comes to the directories that are empty right here, they might become broken after you reboot or restart your system after a while. And to solve that is really simple. You just have to, again, to enable the hidden directories by pressing Ctrl-H, and then you have to open this file right here. And what happens is that, like, for the broken directories, this, let's say, parameter right here might look like this. And then to correct it, you just have to insert the correct name, then save the file, and then the problem will be solved. And also the solution for broken links also solve problems that might happen when it comes to directories that might be missing here on the left menu. So if the directory that you have created the sublink is not showing up here correctly, or not showing up here in the left menu bar, then you have to follow the same method here, editing this file right here, and everything will be will be fine by then. Now the second method I would recommend just for some of you who want to enhance or to broaden your Linux knowledge, because to be honest and quite honest, I really prefer the first method over this one, because I think it's way more or less complicated, and also the final results are way more neat than the second one. So if you're like me, who would like to sometimes adventure in the Linux field, just stick with me here. So differently than the first option, in this option, when you're installing Pop OS, you're gonna install your whole home directory in your HD, and then the root directory and other stuff you want in your SSD. After you install the whole system and it's running, leave it for 5 to 10 minutes to run some background process. Don't do anything in the meantime, otherwise it might mess up with this whole procedure right here, at least according to my experience right here. And differently again from the first method, where we just like assign some folders or directories in our home directory to the HD. Here we're gonna just since it's already installed in our HD, we're just gonna assign the Flatpak and other smaller or other related directories to our SSD. So it's the same kind of principle, but the starting point is different between this method right here and the first method. So the first thing we have to do after waiting for those 5 to 10 minutes after the system install is to access our root directory using the file manager. So we have to go here to other locations and then to our root directory. And then we have to add a directory here. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna call it the ssd-home, where we want those Flatpak files and directories to be moved as we are trying to replicate what other distros do when it comes to Flatpak applications, which is that they are installed directly in the root partition. So for that, I'm going to insert that command I was already doing this video, which is the make directory, and then I'm gonna name it as ssd-home. I'm gonna insert my password and then press enter. So for that, I have to come back here. It won't refresh automatically. And then, as you may see here, we have a directory called ssd-home. The next step, just for the sake of organizing, I'm gonna try to replicate our local share in our home directory that is located in our home directory, which is where the Flatpak subdirectory is located. So as you may see right here, let me go up. I have enabled the hidden directories, and here in local, I have these two directories right here, where the Flatpak directory is located in shares. So all the Flatpak applications are installed in this directory right here. So I'm gonna go to our ssd-home directory. I'm gonna open it in terminal to create that first directory called local. For that, I'm gonna insert the command right here to create it. I'm gonna open it and then open in terminal. I'm gonna add the other two subdirectories, which is the state, and the share. And yeah, so we have basically everything set when it comes to the organization or the sorting of the folders right here. We have to replicate, or we have to move all the content inside these two directories right here to that copy we made in our home in our ssd home directory. In the share directory, we have to move everything apart from the ICC, trash, and these other two files because they're not that heavy. For that, I'm gonna use this guide right here that I have made but as usual, I'm gonna leave all the commands you need in the description below. And probably I'll try to find somewhere, I don't know where at this moment I'm gonna do it, but I can also leave the text guide right here somewhere. Well, I'm gonna tell you as soon as I figure it out anyway. So we're gonna do it again for each one of the directories right here, apart from the ICC and the trash, using the terminal command. You can't run away from it at this moment. So I'm gonna do with the applications folder or directory right here just to show to you, but it will work for each one of them. As you may see it here, it is already there. Now you have to repeat for each one of the directories right there. After you run all these commands right here, your shared directory might look like something like this. Again, leave these two. These two are the most important. Leave them untouched, and yeah, you don't have to mess with each one of these as well. And your share folder or share directory might look like this. So then for the next step, now we have to create or add symbolic links, soft links in this directory right here by running the following commands in the terminal. Just leave it open. See, it's referring to that path right there. So I'm gonna do it for the applications as I did previously. And then, as you may see here, a symbolic link or a soft link has been created to this directory right there. So now you just have to replicate this for each one of the directories that you may see here in this guide. So after this step is finished, like as you may see here, I have run each one of those commands right there. Your share folder might look like something like this. And now the next step the next thing you should do is to run or to follow the same procedure for the state folder or the directory. Sorry, I have committed a mistake here and also it's my fault, but anyway, I have when I was guiding you people to the ssd-home directory creation, I told you to add the state folder, but in this case we don't have to, because we're gonna move the state directory entirely. So for that, I'm gonna open the local using the command terminal, and then I'm gonna remove the state folder. Oops, I have to do a sudo right here. I'm gonna use the command to remove, and then yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna run the same kind of commands I was running for the share directory, which is to move the state directory to the home, to the ssd-home we have created. And then I'm gonna create the symbolic link here. And at the end, your final result might look like something like this. After you download your first Flatpak application, the .var directory won't be added or won't be there yet. And for that, you have to run that same Flatpak application. If you try to run after downloading it and it doesn't show up, it's not a problem. You just have to restart your own computer and everything will work perfectly. So let's open the easy effects just to see if it's working. As you may see here, it's a Flatpak application and it is working perfectly. Now we just have to do the same steps as we did with our local and contents, but with the .var directory. And for that we have to run the following commands right here in the home directory. We have to move it to our ssd-home directory, and then we have to add the soft link. Sorry. And then let's go to our ssd-home. As you may see here, the .var directory is created there. Let's open Easy Effects to see if it's working. It's working perfectly. And then for the last step, we're just gonna delete something. We're just gonna delete something to see if the trash can is working, because as I'm gonna explain at the end of the video, there are some things that may happen if you don't follow these instructions precisely, and one of them is the trash can not working perfectly or not working properly. So I'm just gonna delete the profile, and yes, it was sent to the trash can right here. I'm gonna undo it, and then yes, everything is working perfectly after we follow the steps for this method. These disclaimers are only valid for the second option, which is way more complicated than the first option, as you may have seen. And they're caused because we are basically messing up with the local directory, and there are like important stuff here that you should be aware of. So that's why you should only deal with the directories that I have mentioned during this method right here when I was explaining it. So the first thing that may happen is the thing that I just mentioned, which is the fact that the trash can is not working properly. Like, you cannot send items to the trash; they get deleted permanently directly. And the reason for that's because you probably try to move and create the symbolic link or sublink for the whole local folder. So note that the trash can directory is located here, and because of that, for some reason the soft link doesn't work properly or doesn't work out for the trash can environment. The other thing that may happen is that you're unable to log in, and at least according to what I have investigated, the explanation for that is because you didn't move all the directories that I have indicated along this video. And for some reason, there is some login information inside of one of these directories right here. And because of that, you yeah, there's an error occurs, and because of that you cannot log in properly to your user account. So I really hope this guide was really useful to you, regardless of which option you have chosen. In case they didn't work, please let me know there in the comments so I can investigate what may have happened to your, like, in your situation. And yeah, it was such a pleasure for me to record this video, because back then when I used to have this setup on my PC, the SSD with an HD, it was like really frustrating to not be able to use Flatpak applications on Pop! OS properly because of this issue. And worse than that, I couldn't find any kind of clear solution on the internet. So that's why I just started to investigate things on my own, basically, which took me a long time, let's be honest. But after I found out the solutions for that, yeah, my life changed completely when it comes to using Pop! OS on that setup. So I really hope that to you people, it's yeah, that you enjoy it as the same way as I did. And I hope to see you around. Thank you. Bye bye.